for the iOS, what you need to do is inside the iOS runner info.plist file, we have to add the permission. That is, we have to describe that is why our app uses the speech recognition feature. And basically this permission is called speech recognition uses description. Similarly, the microphone, okay, for this also we have to add the permission. So how we can add it for the iOS? Well, just go back, and in here in our iOS, inside the iOS we have runner, and then inside the runner we have info.plist. Now in here inside the info.plist we have to first add our key. That is, let me just add some space so you can see it clearly, okay, like this. So we can say key, and then we have to close this key tag, and then between this key we have to add here the first permission, which is NS speech recognition usage description. Okay, copy it, come back here and simply paste that here. Then as it says that we have to describe, that is why our app uses the speech recognition. So the description we can write inside the string tag, just like this. Okay, so let's say we can say speech, we are telling this message to the user, okay, who will use our app basically. So we can say that speech recognition is used because you will speak to, let's say, to me. To me simply means that our virtual assistant, let's say her name is, let's say, Friday. Okay, so basically Friday is telling to the user that his speech recognition is used because you will speak to me, and I have to understand your voice commands, let's say. Of course you can add any other description for this specific permission. Okay, let's say you can type speech recognition is used to allow the user to speak voice commands, okay, or anything. Okay, this is just the description. In the same way, just like we add this first permission for the iOS, we can add the other one, which is for using the microphone. So we can say just copy paste that, okay, just like this, as you can see. And then the second one is basically this one, okay, which is microphone usage description. Just copy that and paste that between these key tags, and the description for this will be microphone is used, let's say, because you will speak to me. Okay, this will be the description for this second permission. Okay, and this one is basically because I have to recognize your voice command. So these are the two permissions which is required for the iOS. Then let's come back here, and in here after it we have to add permission for the Android. So let's just close this, and now for the Android we have to add permission. So these are the permission which we will add. Just copy this and come back inside the Android app src main, and then inside the main we have Android manifest.xml. So in here above this application tag we can simply paste this permission which we just copied. And as further they said that for the Android SDK 30 or later, okay, if you target that, then you have to add this as well. So let's just also add this, okay, and we have to do it right after the permissions, just like this. One more thing is we have to add another permission which is basically for using the phone storage, and that is basically by the name right underscore external underscore storage. So yeah, these are the permissions for Android. And then next thing is you have to make sure that your Android SDK must be at least 21. So let's go back to our project, and now inside our Android app build.gradle. In here we have the minimum SDK version, which must be 21 or greater than 21. So yeah, this is all about how we can implement the speech to text feature in our Flutter application for the iPhone as well as for the Android smartphones. So now we are ready to test the application. Only we need to do is to add a click event on our this icon button. When the user tap on it, it will just get the voice commands from the user as an input. So inside our body single child scroll view, as you know, we have this icon, which is basically this icon. So what we need to do is in here we can say if speech to text instance dot is listening. If it is listening, then that is if the user already tap on it. If the user already tap on this button, then this listening already starts. Okay, so if it started, let's say it's listen for some time when the user speak to it, then after it, if it is already listening, we have to make sure to stop the listening. For that purpose, of course, we have to implement a method after the start listening. Now we can say stop listening now, which will be an asynchronous method, and of course the return type will be void. So we can simply say speech to text instance dot stop, and that's it. So now we can say if the speech to text instance dot is listening. If it is already listening, then we have to make sure to stop it. That is, we will simply call our method, which is stop listening now. Else, if it is not already listening, that is, let's say if the user has not clicked, that is if it is in the idle state, and when the user click on this button, then we have to call our method, which is start listening now. Okay, so let me tell you again, if the speech to text is listening, already listening, then in that case we have to stop the listening. Otherwise, else if it is not already listening, then we have to start the listening to the user voice commands. And of course, according to this, we have to also update the user interface so the user can see that my voice is, that is, the user is talking to the virtual assistant. So for that purpose, when the user click on this button, we have to display some beautiful animations.